Welcome to the Worship Keys YouTube channel. My name is Carson Bruce. So glad you're here. We talk all things music theory, gear, industry, and ministry for your worship keys playing. If this episode is beneficial for you or you have any questions as you continue to watch, feel free to comment below, and I'd love to hear any feedback that you have along the way. So let's get into today's episode. Welcome to the Worship Keys podcast. Today, I'm with John Strandell. Now, John is a producer, mix engineer, songwriter extraordinaire. You're signed with Centricity label, and we're here in your studio in Nashville. But just first of all, thank you for being on the podcast. Honestly, you've been doing this for a long time, and you're going to add so much value. So thank you, dude.
Dude, thank you for allowing me to be a part of it and making a space for people to help people. It's awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. When you get your Nord Stage 4 here.
Yeah.
Which you said
4.
you like it a good bit over the Nord Stage 3.
I do. I had the Stage 3 HP 76, I think it was. It was the compact one, and it was like the weighted compact, or like semi-weighted. And I miss how portable and light it was.
Right.
This is like the full-size Stage 4, so it is heavy.
Yeah.
And my case makes it like an extra almost 2 feet long.
Right.
So it's just like, transporting it is crazy, but I'm a big like Nord fan. I love the sounds on it. I'm a big hardware guy in general.
Yeah.
So, dude, you just can't beat like the Nord sounds, in my opinion.
Felt pianos like you were playing earlier?
Yes.
They're beautiful.
The felt piano. I will say, though, you're familiar with Arturia?
Oh, yeah.
So they have a new thing called the Astrolab.
I've heard about it. Oh, my gosh, it's incredible. And it looks beautiful, too.
It looks cool. The Nord can be... I'm a synth guy, so like attack, decay, sustain, release, like it all just makes sense to me. But for some people looking at, a synth interface, it can be like, what the heck is going on?
Right.
Where the Astrolab, I'll say, like, it's super simple, super clean. Anybody can use it.
The interface is really cool. The knob's very cool.
Yes.
It's
got that little LED to show you like what, and it's, if you're familiar with Arturia, like their plugins and stuff like that. Like, it's literally their plugin, sounds inside of a hardware, and their plugins are incredible.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah. But
Definitely
I love the Nord. I love the felt piano.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if you can hear this. Like I brighten it just a little bit for like live context.
Yeah.
But you can obviously throw on the soft thing.
Ooh, yes.
Okay, the big thing though for the
I love the 6/5 1/3/4, man. Got to do that, especially for worship, man. It's the go-to.
Dude, so the big thing about the Stage 4 is there's multiple layers for each section.
Okay.
You got the organ over here, piano, synth, your effects, and each instrument, the organ, the piano, the synth, has multiple layers that you can now fade in. I was using Main Stage when I first started. Just because it's easy, it sounds great. Like,
right.
You just press the patch that you want, and it literally plays it.
Yep.
And then I switched to Ableton, and I feel like this is a good middle ground. Like, it's simple, being able to fade in multiple sounds. So, like if you're doing like a chorus or something and you have this like just being able to layer in like an octave is so helpful.
Absolutely.
Like there's no pads right now. It's just that octave thing with the reverb.
Yes.
I don't know.
So powerful.
Simple. But then also, like, you can do some, like, more poppy type stuff. Like... I don't know.
So good.
Yeah.
I love that, bro. I love that. A lot of great songs that you produce, specifically within the worship genre. And so, man, it's going to be great to get your insight on production world. But for one, I just want to tell everyone, John, I came across your Instagram page because you had this incredible song that you've written. It's called A Good Name.
Yeah.
When I first heard the verse to this, just verse 1, you haven't even released the second verse yet. It's just a short little clip. It really pierced my heart for ministry and music and working for a church, but also like being true to your family, your spouse, and in the podcast today, we're going to talk about that song, A Good Name, like where the inspiration came from.
Yeah.
The lyrics, man, dude, that thing it's a powerful song, man. We're going to hear that song right now so that, you guys can hear it before we start talking about this song.
Sure.
So guys, we'll just turn it over to you, man, and let everyone hear this.
I was coming home every night to my kids on the floor in my beautiful wife, saying, darling, would you give us some time? Working at the church, 9 to 9, double jobs, writing songs, trying to build a new life. But you weren't in the ones that I write. These are the seeds we sow a field for the miracles, building kingdoms on another sinking soul. These are the golden days, don't wait, don't throw them away. Religious jobs ain't worth any amount of fame. It's just another good excuse to give a man a good name.
Dude, tell us more about this song.
Okay,
man.
so, man, literally, verse 1 says, I was coming home every night to my kids on the floor of my beautiful wife, saying, darling, would you give us some time? I worked in ministry for full-time about 10 years, and there was a season where a church that I was at, honestly, I have so much to be thankful for about that season. But at the same time, like, I was young and just trying to figure out how to do ministry, how to do family. Like, I had a kid. Me and my wife's Taylor. She's the backbone of this family for sure. We had our first kid when I was about 21, and we were, only a year and a half married at that point when we found out we were pregnant. And so I'm like 21, like in ministry, trying to figure out how to be a dad, and there's just a lot of mistakes that you make. You're just trying to figure it out. And I mean, the church that I was at, if anybody is in the church world, like, oftentimes the bigger the church is, like, the more stuff there is, the more events, the more things, pull your attention. And
Absolutely.
this church that I was at, like, man, there was a lot of cool stuff happening, but it also just required a lot of attention and a lot of time. And so, like, literally every night, it was Wednesday night was church or youth or some, either our Wednesday service or youth. Thursday night was rehearsals for weekends. Friday night was young adults.
Yeah.
Saturday night was church. Sunday night was prayer service. And then, you're there from like literally 9 to 9 every day. I mean, that's in the song, working at the church 9 to 9. Like, that is a very real,
Yeah.
and oftentimes it is more like 10.
Right,
But
right.
you're doing ministry, bro, and you're wrestling with, like, I am spending so much time doing this, and it is a good thing.
Right.
It's a good thing that I'm pushing for. But dude, like, it is so easy to lose sight of priorities in
Absolutely.
that. At that time too, like, towards the end of that season, I was making a lot of trips to Nashville and producing records and working 40 to 60 hours at the church, like minimum of 40 hours.
Yeah.
During like Maverick services, like Easter or Christmas, it'd be like 80 hours easy,
Wow. And what was your role? What did you
So it bounced around. I was a youth pastor for about 3 years, and then after that, I was like an associate worship pastor for most of that time. I mean, towards the end of that season, I started a label. I was trying to figure out, like, I have this heart for ministry, but at the same time, like, God's gifted me in songwriting and production, and I just have a passion for like the music industry. I have a passion for crafting a song, and even just like what makes a hit, like what makes a song pop off.
Yeah.
I like, you know, my dad, dude, growing up here in Nashville, my dad worked at BMI, which is a music licensing company, and he worked at a digital music company after that. Little did I know at the time, it was definitely instilling a lot of some of these desires that wouldn't manifest into my life until, you know, I'm 30 now, till now. So towards the end of that season, you know, would get done at church 9-10 p.m. and then would go home, or, you know, at my studio at the church, I would stay and produce records till like 4 a.m.
Man.
Yeah.
That's when all the good stuff happens, is that midnight.
Dude, well,
hour.
not anymore. Back then, sure, but not no, dude. I'm cooked by the end of the day now. But legit, man. I mean, I was working like 9 till 4 a.m. all the time.
Goodness.
And my poor wife, bro.
Taylor. Goodness.
Yeah.
Shout out to Taylor.
Yeah, shout out to Taylor. We both knew that like there was a grace for it in the season. We both knew that, okay, in order for like this career and this passion to take off, I have to like, because I don't want to, you know, do a bad job in my ministry role.
Right.
I don't want to fake that. Like, and you know, when you're balancing multiple gigs at a time, like for me, it was the songwriting, producing thing and the ministry thing. Dude, stuff's going to slip through the cracks.
Right.
Like, you're going to drop the ball in areas. But I wanted to do both at a very high level. And so in order to do that, like, it just required a lot of sacrifice. And unfortunately, that fell on my family. So again, just going through the lyrics, like double jobs, writing songs, trying to build a new life. You know, I wanted a new life of like producing music and living here in Nashville where I grew up.
Absolutely.
But you weren't in the ones that I'd write. I feel like that's kind of got a couple of meanings. Dude, I didn't know how to write love songs back then. Every time I'd sit down to write a song for my wife, I just couldn't do it.
Really?
Legit. I don't know what it was. I guess it was just like the season of life I was in, just with like maturity in my relationship with her, like not knowing how to communicate through things. I don't know. I think there was a lot of things. I feel like the double meaning of that was even the Lord not being in the ones that I'd write. Wow. Like, you know, I'm writing all these worship songs and these Christian songs. And dude, I think a lot, like, those songs have a place and like they're successful and, you know, like they're great. But I think a lot of the times I would lose sight of like the reason why I'm writing this song and just the intimacy with God, like just losing that. Yeah. You know, and it gets lost in the sauce.
Absolutely.
So I don't know.
Again, you said you were writing a lot of worship songs.
Yeah.
At the time, but then realized maybe even God wasn't even a part of this.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
For sure. And
you know, just to sit with that for a second and be like, huh. Wow. So
bro,
like, man, where are our priorities?
I think that happens a lot more than we know, bro. I think the songs that we sing in church, dude, there's so many good people, and you know, our walks with the Lord, like it is such a journey.
It is, man.
There's no perfect worship song.
Right.
Like there's no perfect song that perfectly encapsulates the majesty of God and perfectly, you know, articulates the gospel. There's going to be flaws in it, but God can use it, and he does use it even when I'm like grinding and working and like kind of forsaking my family. He was still using that season in the songs, but even in my family, like the things that have come from that have been beautiful. Just going to the chorus, these are the seeds we sow, a field for the miracles, building kingdoms on another sinking soul. There's a lot in that. But just even those first two lines, this is just common language for us in the church. We're sowing seeds when we're doing ministry because you don't always see the fruit of like the things that you're doing.
Right.
Um,
Right. 100%.
You know, there's a story in the Old Testament that talks about David establishing the tabernacle,
Yeah.
and he didn't even get to see the end result of that tabernacle. That was going to be for the next generation. But
Yeah.
so much of his ministry was built on like the plans of preparing this tabernacle for night and day worship.
Yeah.
He never actually got to see that fully
Crazy.
come about, and I feel like that is ministry a lot of times.
Yeah.
Is you're doing it in the dark, and you just have to believe like we're sowing seeds here.
Right.
There's gonna be a harvest. People are gonna hear this and they're gonna interpret it. They're gonna be able to like apply it in certain things, and I think that's kind of the beauty of this.
Absolutely.
Is, like there is multiple meanings to all this.
Yes, sir.
Building kingdoms on another sinking soul. My Lord, just like Google pastor right now or like church. Like the first news headline that comes up is going to be something crazy.
Yeah, man.
I realize that this is not everybody's story. I
Right.
fully realize that. I fully realize that like
Absolutely, man.
there's some really amazing things happening in the kingdom, and that is real. But a lot of the times we'll build a ministry on a person who is a person. They're a human. They mess up and they're messy and it's not perfect. And they're just another person who's, I said sinking soul. Like their soul needs God just as much as mine does, just as much as the person who walks in off the street who's like relapsed. Like the pastor, that person needs Jesus just as much. That was a big thing for me personally. These are the golden days. Don't wait. Don't throw them away. Religious jobs ain't worth any amount of fame. It's just another good excuse to give a man a good name. Like, I wouldn't say that I was chasing fame in this season, but like, I think a lot of people, especially in bigger churches, you can experience like you're a public figure and,
Church celebrity. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Especially in like today's culture, like
For sure.
there's a lot of that. No amount of like fame or publicity is worth the sacrifice of the time that you're being pulled away from family. And
Yes. And speaking of family, we're going to get into verse 2 here too.
yeah,
But you just had a fourth child just
Yep.
recently.
like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I don't know when this is coming out exactly, but when
Right.
this was recorded, it was about 2
Wow.
weeks ago.
So you have a newborn. So it's still, I mean, these are the golden days.
Yeah,
man.
for sure, bro.
I mean, it
It
was
doesn't
back
get better
then.
than
It's-
this.
It's just
No.
you just had your fourth child. Congrats
Thank you,
to
bro.
you and Taylor.
Yeah,
4 kids now. It's amazing. Like
yeah.
can't lose our priorities. Keep going, man.
Yeah,
Keep going.
no. Yeah, 4 kids, it's a lot. So
Oh, man.
I appreciate it when people are like, "You're a blessed man." Some of my buddies, like, we have 4 kids, and we're like, we just get it. We just understand. Anyway, the one thing that I want to hit in this chorus and emphasize just a little bit is just like, just another good excuse to give a man a good name. Like that's kind of the whole song. Is like, for me personally, I was doing a lot of things in ministry to make myself feel better about myself and to make people's perception of me higher or better than what it actually was. And I know I'm not alone in that. Like the conversations I have with people, that's a common thing. And I don't know, man. God gives us a new name, and his identity, our identity in him is so much more. There's so much more fulfillment in chasing that than chasing just literally anything, like ministry,
Absolutely.
like career.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was actually talking with a buddy. He owns a gym in St. Louis. He's not necessarily like a Christian, devout Christian or anything, but he related to even just that concept of doing things for yourself, doing things in your own name, for your own name, and forsaking your family.
With the church world, it's like it kind of gets meshed together a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's hard because you're doing work for God and for God's people, right? But then you're doing it with alternative motives, or you could be, right? And like you were mentioning, man, there's so many people and you're not alone, like, or doing this because, hey, I went to seminary, now I've got to go down this route and I'm doing this thing, but I'm not necessarily doing it with the right motive or with the right priority. Maybe I started with the right priority, but I no longer am operating in that same first love passion that I did. And I want church leaders to hear that. And I want musicians to hear that. Even volunteers, a volunteer keys person. Maybe you're a volunteer and you're playing keys, and you're like, yes, I should do this. But if there's a time you need to take off stage and reflect a little bit, that's so important.
Yeah.
And a couple weeks ago, Jamie with Ascension Worship talked at Worship
Jamie.
Innovators. Oh, do you love Jamie?
Yeah.
He's awesome. At Worship Innovators Conference, he had a breakout session about avoiding fatigue within your worship team. Incredible. That session is a podcast episode. You can go on the Worship Keys podcast right now and find that. But it's an incredible session about how to avoid fatigue within your worship band. Like as you are the worship pastor or the leader, how do you do that for your team? And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with what you're saying right now is keeping the main thing, having your priorities, remembering who you're doing this for one, and your family at home is a greater priority than the band or church family because we do say church family as a phrase because it is a family, we're a close-knit community, but your actual family, your blood family, like that is a priority, and that is your first and foremost ministry. I go to a lot of weddings, and one of the most powerful things that you can have is your marriage, right?
Right.
And when your marriage is so strong, that can be a greater a greater ministry tool than any amount of skills that you have on stage for singing, for writing, for producing, for playing, is your marriage, and then your offspring, your kids, right?
Totally.
Now you have 4. That is so much more important. Anyway, keep going,
that's
man.
good. Well, no, just on your point, like marriage is the ultimate refinement process. Like,
yes,
it is exposing all of the mess.
Yeah.
And in both, you're not even necessarily, I feel like most of the time you're not even trying to like expose the mess, but just living with somebody long enough. One part of this that we haven't really talked about, or most people don't talk about, is sometimes, and this was my case, but like you don't really have another option. I didn't go to school, and I want to be so honoring to everybody involved. Sometimes, like when like myself, I didn't go to school, and starting your professional life and ministry, like making money, you literally don't have another option outside of that. For some musicians, they don't have another option outside of like the church gig that they're getting abused in, and like for real, like they're pouring all this time in, and there may be some like manipulation happening. Like for me, the conversation that I was having with my wife a lot is like, I know this sucks. I know this is like not ideal, and I'm so sorry. I am so sorry we're in this mess. I'm so sorry that we're trying to figure this out. I think that went a long way, honestly. I think just communication and like just praying for the Lord to open up doors outside of the mess that we were in. It just felt like we were stuck in that season. And so if there's people who feel like they're stuck and they can't get out of the situation, like I totally get that. And it's really hard. And there's no perfect, to be completely honest, there's no perfect answer of do this and your life will be better. Right. Life is tricky. Ministry is super tricky. Like what you were saying earlier, that is the trickiness of associating, a professional career with like ministry calling and all. Like it's super hard to balance.
This is the second verse, man.
Yeah, verse 2. Get a little bit more personal with this. You were staying home every day with the boys and a baby girl on the way. This is quite literally what was happening. My wife, she's a stay-at-home mom. We had 2 boys and a girl at the time, and now we have 2 boys, 2 girls. We've got 4 kids now. My wife was just, I don't want to share too much of her story without her being here, but like she was just trying to figure out what that looked like for her, like being a mom. It's like the ultimate sacrifice for a woman, like because it is everything. You are sacrificing literally everything. Your sleep, your body, your time. My wife, she went from being just like working at a coffee shop, like having a lot of free time, and it changes everything. I didn't see it at the time. Like now, hindsight's 2020, I see it, but there just wasn't a lot of grace coming from me in that season.
Wow.
And she was just trying to figure all that out on her own. And
how have you best been able to support her in that, as you've learned over the years now? I mean, you have 4 kids now.
Yeah.
Like, how have you learned to balance that
Man.
practically?
I've just, to be honest, and she's helped me through this. And then, there's obviously counseling, therapy that
Absolutely.
that's so healthy. I think our generation, I think we see a lot of that, fortunately. Like, a lot of people are admitting, like, yeah, I need help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, honestly, it was just listening. Like, me just being a better listener. Me, like, I don't know. She would say things, and I would want to hear them in a different way, and so I just choose to just not listen to what she was saying. And I think for me, it's like I've just learned how to communicate how I feel better, and then learn how to listen.
It's good. When did you write this song, by the way?
That's a good question. So I wrote like the first verse and chorus right when I was like leaving that season, almost 6 years ago. And then Dawson Shorman, shout out, he was in town just a few weeks ago, and Centricity hooked that. And
which you write about twice a week for and with Centricity label,
yes,
right? Just to let everyone know that you professionally songwrite
yeah,
every week.
But yeah, song for his stuff, and
That's awesome, man.
we had some extra time, and he was like, let's write another one. We almost wrote 3 songs that day, but it was literally the day after we had a baby. And
oh, wow.
Taylor, I know it sounds bad, but she encouraged me to go. Okay. So I promise that sounds terrible. I'm so glad she did, because we got this song out of it. But I brought him these lyrics. I didn't have a melody. I just had the lyrics. It was just honest, raw lyrics.
Yeah,
and I'm like, can we finish this? And obviously, he's in ministry too, so he could relate to a lot of what I was saying.
Absolutely.
We just knocked it out. But that was just a few weeks ago. So dude, over the last 6 years, I'm still processing all of this stuff, and still like healing from it, and learning how to heal from it. Yeah, almost through the song, all those hours you supported, all the church work and church hurt, it was never as important as the family I'm doing this for. Like, dude, she, had her own church hurt that she was trying to deal with. Like, I had my own. I mean, that's church hurt. That's a whole thing in and of itself. I was just talking with a buddy the other day, and a lot of my age group, like, we experience church hurt. And I feel like for a lot of my friends, the story just kind of ends there. They just experience church hurt, and then they tell the world about it.
Yeah. Go to social media.
Yeah. I get it, dude. Dude, I get it. Like,
right.
Dude, come on. Like, I'm trying to be honoring, and I'm trying not to say some of the stuff I went through. But, dude, like, it's messed up. There's messed up stuff that happens. But, like, man, I feel personally I am supposed to just tell a different story in this. And I feel like there is another story in that.
Yeah.
There's another side, like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just, you have to, like anything good in life, you have to see it through to the end.
Come on. Yeah.
Like, my relationship with my wife, man, dude, it could have ended a long time ago. And thank God it didn't. And, dude, it gets better. Like, you just have to be faithful. You have to be consistent. And I feel like we give up on the church so easy, and we give up on the organization of it. I feel like, personally, I just want to tell a different story. Like, there is healing at the end of it. And
that's good, man.
That's where a lot of this is coming from. It's not a shot at the church. Like, it may sound like that. It may have some undertone of that. You can read it however you want. Anytime I do post like Christian stuff, like, sometimes there's like a weird response to it. So this was like a risky thing
Yeah.
on so many levels, and
Absolutely.
to see like even the pastor of the church that I'm working with be like, yeah, I relate to this. It was really encouraging, and
It's awesome.
it makes me want to write more music like this,
Dude,
honestly.
and you should, man.
Yeah.
We want to hear more from you this year.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. Okay, the bridge. This one's a little dicey. Bear with me, but the bridge goes, Jesus as a job, Jesus as a lyric, Jesus as a degree in divinity. From Jesus on a cross to Jesus in a circus. Is Jesus' name a badge for security? Has atonement lost its purpose, its purity?
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's
like
beautifully written, man.
Thank you, bro.
Praise
Again,
God.
shout out to my co-writer. He's incredible. It's kind of in this similar vein of just like real, raw, like you know, I don't know, just being real with your music, and I love it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this bridge, like, Jesus was my job.
Yeah.
It was my job, man, and
Yeah. Man.
for better or worse, like, and I don't know. Another reason I almost didn't post this is like, wow, typical American Western Christian to be complaining about your job at a church. You know, like I'm thinking about that. Like, why am I even complaining about this? Even as luxurious as that sounds, as like getting paid to do ministry, as luxurious as that sounds, it's not as easy and it's not as luxurious as that sounds. Jesus has a job. Jesus has a lyric, you know, writing songs about Jesus. Jesus has a degree in divinity. These are all like these aspects of how Jesus was a part of my life. I didn't get a degree in divinity, but like there was a church that I was on staff at. Again, not going to say names, but like that was a huge part of their culture, and what they valued was like getting a master's in divinity, and, like, all this stuff that I didn't have, and honestly was treated like that. Like I just didn't have that, you know?
A lot of worship pastors have gone to seminary, which is great and very helpful to understand the scriptures from an academic way. But speak more to that feeling that you had of feeling less than.
To be completely honest, my personal opinion and the way I have gone about my life, like, I didn't go to school, and I think there is a place for school.
Absolutely.
Multiple career paths where like it is perfectly
For sure.
necessary to do so.
For sure.
I think there's a lot of fluff in that, and there's a lot of like pride in that.
Come on, yeah.
And that is where that came from, is like this pride. I have this degree in divinity. Like, you are nothing because you have nothing. And like,
Man.
it wasn't as blatant as that, but like, dude, that was definitely the undertone of that culture. We see that culture. We see it in churches, and
Absolutely.
I'm not a fan personally, but
Yeah. No, I agree.
like I said, there's a place for it, man. Like,
agree, man.
and I don't want to discourage somebody coming out of high school and being like, I feel like I need to pursue getting a degree in divinity just because I said it. I don't want to discourage that, man.
Right,
You got to go with like where you feel the Holy Spirit's leading you.
For sure.
But this does not make you a Christian. This does not make you a better Christian at all. Like, the stuff that they teach you in seminary, you can learn that. Like, if you apply yourself, it's the same with production, dude.
Absolutely.
I didn't go to school for
100%.
this. Like, I didn't even have somebody teaching me this. Like, I learned it. I figured it out. Like, I mean, there's free resources. There's YouTube. Like,
Yes. And now you're signed with Centricity.
yeah.
How long have you been with Centricity?
We're almost a year.
Never went to school for this.
No.
Never had official training. And here you are signed with Centricity, doing your thing because you knew God's called you to this.
Yeah, I'm just passionate about it, man. Like,
amazing.
you apply yourself in the things you're passionate about. There's people who, which I personally, I'm very passionate about theology, and So
awesome.
I just apply myself in that area. You read,
Do people assume that you're not passionate about theology?
For sure,
because you're
bro.
so creative and
For
music.
sure. It's
They
funny,
assume you
like,
don't really love the Lord. That's
yeah,
fine.
dude, 100%. That's fine. I don't know. I'm a prideful person. Like that is something I struggle with. But one area that I've not really ever struggled with is pride in my, like, I don't know, religious achievements. Like I just don't even care, bro. Like I want to be right in the eyes of the Lord. And at the end of the day, bro, like I'll close this with this. The first commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart. And dude, if that is not first, if that is not your first priority, like the degree in divinity, like none of it matters, bro. And
Yeah.
even I don't know, man, like writing songs, like that is my foundation. That is what I fall back on.
Right.
That's what we've fallen back on in our marriage. That's what saved our marriage. If I can encourage anybody in anything, like, dude, pursue all the things. Go to school, have a career, but like have a relationship with Jesus. Like have an intimate relationship with Jesus where you're talking to him daily.
That's good.
And you're studying the word. And I want people to experience Jesus when they work with me. And so the people who aren't, you know, they're not a part of a church or they're not Christian, like I just want them to experience a better way. And I just try to be that for them.
I love that, man. I want you to share with everyone a little bit what it was like when you were working at a church. You said you worked at a church for over 10 years?
Yeah. So I was full-time ministry for about 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a long time, a whole decade.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have the phrase and the line, you know, 9 to 9, almost 9 to 10, where you're working these long hours and almost neglecting, you know, in a lot of sense, your family time.
Definitely neglect.
And your health and I mean, everything, right?
Yo, yeah.
How can you, what kind of advice do you have? What would you say to your younger self during that time? And what can you tell to everyone who's listening if that maybe they're in that position right now?
Yeah.
What's some advice for them? Maybe two different perspectives.
Sure.
You are the worship pastor or director that's in that position where you have to live up to these expectations, and then maybe a senior pastor's listening, and maybe you're the one that actually is helping, or maybe not knowingly, but you're facilitating this work environment that's not healthy. And how would you steer that and try to make sure that there are boundaries? What would you say to those two perspectives in the church world for anyone who's experiencing that?
Everybody has their own experience, but like it starts at the top. And
Absolutely.
if the culture of the leadership is healthy, like that's going to trickle down. The people who are stuck in it, that God would give them the courage to break out of it and to, in an honoring way. I don't think you have to like go out swinging. And I think we see that a lot. People get hurt and dude, they will go out swinging. Like they'll make a name for themselves going out swinging. I don't think that's right at all. I don't think there's any fruit that comes from that. I don't think there's anything good that comes from that. But my prayer, though, is that God would give them the words to say and the opportunities to be able to be bold. And that is what's so hard about this, is there's no perfect way to like navigate this, man. Like no matter what, it's gonna hurt. No matter what, it's gonna be really hard.
Right.
Like my experience, the way I got out of it, like, which was just getting out of it, I started a label. There was a moment where this label that I was starting was like pretty directly interfering with some of the optics of me being like committed to it, to the church that I was at, committed to my job, even though in my defense, like I was fully committed 80 hours a week, you know, the optics of it would look otherwise, just because I was passionate about the label that I was starting. It kind of came to a head at one moment, and I'd already been praying about it, like, God, I don't know when the right time is to be released from this. And I, you know, kind of the whole time it was like, once you have something lined up, that's when you know you'll be released. I didn't have anything, but there was a clear moment where I was having a conversation, and it was like, now's the time. Step out in faith and be done. Mm-hmm. And that was it, man. Like, that was the right time, and I didn't go out swinging. Like, that's why I'm trying to be honoring. I think one thing that, like, I need to be super clear about as well is, dude, I am such a work in progress. Like,
we all are, man.
Dude, yeah, I mean, just so much drama that I contributed to. When your focus is a job or a status or a position, like, dude, you contribute to the problem. I was a contributor to the problem. Mm-hmm. I think there has to be a lot of humility and realizing that you are part of the problem.
Yep.
Like, dude, honestly, man, like, you just have to humble yourself. Mm-hmm. You just have to own it. At the very least, have the real conversation with the Lord of, like, God, I feel like I am completely innocent in this. Please show me the areas of my life where I'm not, like, where I am part of the problem. Like, dude, be as real as that. Like, exactly. I'm good, Lord. I'm so good, but please help me see where like, if that's what it takes,
create
like,
me a clean heart, oh God.
Yeah, dude,
right
like,
spirit.
Whatever it takes, like, ask the Lord to show you the areas in your life we all can relate to in a way, and Absolutely. Something I'm still processing and healing, and still trying to figure out, like, what's the healthy way to process through all this.
Absolutely. And this episode feels like a therapeutic.
It kind of does. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make it like that.
No, you're good. You're good. This is therapeutic for a lot of other people too.
Well,
I know.
That's crazy, man.
And it's good to like talk about these things. Like, how do we balance actually doing work, because we want to be in the church, we want to minister, or maybe we want to produce in a secular world as well. We have individuals who God has called us to do these things. How do we do this well, and how do we do this so we can sustain our marriage, sustain our families? Before we're down the road and now fourth kid, and now you're realizing all these things. Things could have gone off the tracks a little bit. Thank God for redemption, though. But how do we recognize these things and be healthy with it? Proverbs 22:1. A good name is to be chosen rather than greater riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold. So that Proverbs 22.
Come on, bro.
1.
Preach.
A good name is rather to be chosen than the riches, right? When God told Solomon he could choose anything, he said, like, I want wisdom.
Yes.
Right? And then God gave him, like, everything, right? He's the richest king. God gave him all these things, and you can go read about it. I wanted to pinpoint that because
that's good, bro.
A good name, right? Like, it's rather to be chosen than the riches in your song, A Good Name.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's the motive behind it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're like, wow, I'm here to make a name for myself, for my fame, for my glory, that's not what this context of this verse is saying, right? It's not saying, okay, make a great name for yourself. No, Solomon honored God, and he said, I want wisdom. And I think similarly, we have to pray for wisdom, man. Yeah. It's like, I want discernment. I need wisdom. And when doing that, God will give you resources, and he will give you opportunities, and he will make the name known, and he will choose that name for you and make that path known to you. But yeah, man, you didn't even think about, you said you didn't even think about
Honestly,
that verse.
No, I didn't.
How does that play into the...
Well, no, that's beautiful. I think for me, the perception of having a good name was like all these things, like, working, like, doing the church job and
right.
Being on stage and oversimplifying that. Like, there was amazing things that happened in that season, amazing things in ministry, but, like, I thought that was giving me a good name, and I thought that was, like, I don't know, just bettering my legacy, and at the end of the day, it wasn't. It was an excuse to, and I think we do get to choose, like, what the good name is for us. Man, with ministry, it's so easy to get blinded by the kingdom aspect, and like you're told all these things as well. Like this should be your focus. I think we do have that's great, man. Thanks for pulling that verse up. I think we do have the power to choose what that good name looks like for us. For me, dude, I want integrity, and at least I do now. Like those are the things that I'm chasing right now in this season.
That's awesome, man. I love that.
Yeah, man. This past year, I got to work with this artist, Mac Brock. Dude, he's the real deal, man. Like for worship leaders, like they always say, don't meet your heroes, and I say do, because Mac is like, he's the real deal, bro. He loves the Lord, loves his family. Like, yeah, he has a good name, in my opinion.
That's awesome. You do a lot of work with churches, which is really cool. You do some consulting work remotely to a few churches. Tell us a little bit about what you do when you work with the church.
So, we're kind of in an era for whether you're a church, a nonprofit organization, a company, a band, an artist, like content is kind of, they say content is king. It's just the best way to tell a story. Not everybody agrees with this philosophy, but music is just another form of content, original music. I could potentially see a world where like songs may only live within certain social media, universes. Like it wouldn't even get uploaded to Spotify. It would just live in Instagram. Like I could see a world where content just looks different than it's more emphasized. So, with churches, we expect a pastor to write a sermon every week and have original content. Dude, why can't we chase original music?
Yeah.
For the church. Not that we have to write a song every week, and release it, but like, why not, find language that applies to the season that you're in and kind of put a timestamp on the season that you are in as a church.
Right.
Like every record I've done with some of these churches, it's literally just like a stamp in time of like, this is what God was doing that season. It's unique language for the body, and I think it can obviously reach outside of your church context, but dude, I have a huge passion for that and just believe and want to be seeing more of it. Like, I love worship music. I love listening to it. For me, like, that's a big part of this is helping churches who have that same desire but have no idea how to do that.
Right.
Like, from a legal standpoint to a, licensing, like, publishing, distribution. How do we publish these songs? How do we distribute them? How do you get them up on Spotify?
Right.
What is an algorithm? What is a playlist? Like,
right.
How do you pitch it? How do you, can we write with other songwriters? Like, what's a label? What does a record label do? Like,
right.
I think, especially in the Christian music industry, like, we try to overcomplicate things, and it's not that difficult to understand. And me coming from the church world, I feel like I'm able to explain it in a way that makes sense for the church context. And
that's good, man.
So man, it really is helping churches, specifically that side of it, for, some consulting I do. Like, how do you build a worship culture that releases their own music? Because it can be messy, man. Like, dealing with artists and some of the stuff we're talking about, like, it can get messy. I don't think that means, though, that we shouldn't do it. Just because we've seen churches implode, and bands implode and artists implode, like, I don't think we throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, I think we just keep going for it, and
absolutely,
we keep trying, man, and we just try to bring a pure offering to the Lord every time we do it, and ask the Lord to refine us and purify us through it, and see what He can do with it, man.
I love it, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for taking the time just to talk to me. Really, the big thing, like I said at the beginning of this episode, was your song a good name. I want people to follow your page, get connected with you, see new music that might come out. Definitely follow John to hear more music, but thank you for sharing your heart about the song. I think the song itself is enough to talk about that we constantly need to remind ourselves about, especially if you're listening, you work at a church. I think that's one of the big things is keeping the main thing.
Yeah.
Those raw lyrics are amazing. It might not be a worship song that we're singing
on Sunday.
first thing
Right.
Sunday morning, but it's one of those things that's convicting and it's real and it speaks to the heart of a lot of people. And if you've never worked at a church, you probably don't really know. But if you have a spouse that does, then of course you do know, even just by secondhand.
Just send it to them.
Right, just send it to them. Send it to them.
Dude, I have been seeing some of that. I
Really?
can tell
Yes.
certain things are getting sent
Oh
to certain people.
Yeah.
And it's I wonder why this got sent to this person.
Right, exactly. You're the problem. No.
You are the problem. For sure.
My gosh, man. And also, guys, if you're listening and you need some help with production, you need some help with some creativity, like you have an idea, but you don't know how to release the song, or you don't know how to MD something, or you have a song you want to do an Easter, but you're not sure how to execute, definitely reach out to John on Instagram. Well, thank you so much.
Dude, thank you for having me. This is
Yeah.
really cool.